Hello everyone, and welcome back to another Warhammer video. Today I'm going to be playing the final missions for the survival run. So this will be a little bit of post-editing. I'm recording over the gameplay you can see here in the background. So the survival event's over. It only lasted for I think a week this time around versus the Red Gobbo that lasted for a while, and I was able to advance more in that one. So I just wanted to kind of give my thoughts about how this one went. This was a much tougher survival event, partially because my Chaos factions are some of my least invested in factions. I'm slowly working on that, trying to get into the Fall Acadia, trying to complete the Fall Acadia campaigns. As well as just kind of get my Terminators up to silver rank and things like that. So part of what made this difficult is not just that, but also the gosh darn Electro Priests. So they come out, and you can see it happening right now. They come out and they smack you, and then you go to kill them, but they have the trait, I think it's Resilient, where you gotta finish them off with one more hit. So you got a bunch of enemies who require at least 2 hits to destroy, and that made the event a little difficult for me. I had a hard time finishing them off unless Angrax overkilled them or something with his talons. I was doing my best to try to keep Archimedos up as long as possible, getting demons summoned as often as possible in order to have that, just kind of that damage sponge out there. So the AI comes up, they smack the blood letters instead of your guys, and that just kind of helps you get through these kind of events. The Red Gobbo one was really awesome because my Xenos characters are a little further along, and having the Scarab Swarms and then the Ripper Swarms from the Parasite of Mortrex at the time was a lot of fun. This one was a bit more of a grind. You can see here, you try to chew through the Electro Priests, and then the Skitarii come out in the next round, and they just start gunning you down, gunning you down, gunning you down. I did also notice there were some glitches with the buffs on this map. Whenever I would go to pick up an overshield, it just would not happen. I just wouldn't get an overshield. So I think there were some bugs in this one that needed to be worked out. It was also right on the tail end of the Death Guard versus Admech campaign. So for me, the theme of this survival event was a little bland because we had just done the campaign, and then here we go, we're right back into Death Guard versus Admech, which has been kind of troublesome. But I did my best to try to just grind through this event. I tried to get Nauseous Rotbone as high up as possible with the damage boosters, but because it was a shorter run, I just didn't end up getting him past, I think it was 46% buff. So he wasn't too powerful on this run through. I was able to get more shards for him, so I leveled him up a bit more, which was a good thing for this. And then I kind of focused on upgrading Angrax into silver, which is helping me get through the Fall Acadia campaign. Pretty soon I'll be able to unlock Abaddon the Despoiler. I know, everybody loves Abaddon. But yeah, so that was this survival event. I didn't really get past Wave 9. On my best run, I did get to Wave 10. But once you lose Archimedos and you don't have your summons anymore, and you're just kind of throwing out whatever you have left, the Adeptus Mechanicus units clean you up pretty quick. So you can see here, I pretty much get down to my Terminators, Angrax and Malidus, and then Nauseous Rotbone, of course, because he's got the stat boosters. And the Electro Priests just come up and they just whack you and whack you and whack you, and then you're kind of done after that. And then Angrax was kind of like my key tank. He was able to do the most damage to the enemy units. And he also had the potential for knocking down the Electro Priests. But once you get the Blood Angels out and the Tech Priests out, and they start really hammering you with all that, then it gets a little more difficult. So I tried my best to get as many crates as possible too, because you get all kinds of rewards in the crate. I got 50,000 on that one right there. I think I got 69,000 nice on the next one. So despite the event being hard, it's worth it to try to get through as much of it as possible and to do as many of the missions and achievements as possible, because you do get a lot of really good rewards. And I was really hurting for coins, and then I played this event, and then now I'm past 200,000 coins. So it's really good to get you some upgrades and some coins and things like that. So even though these events can sometimes be a little hit and miss, they are definitely worth playing through as much as possible, because if you're hurting for resources, it's a good way to get some resources, and it's another way to play the game. Like, you don't have to spend your energy for campaigns or grinding. You don't have to spend your tokens for the daily things like salvage run and all that. You get an additional gameplay, an additional set of tokens, and you get another way to play Tacticus. Because sometimes I log into Tacticus, and all I do is hit the find and spam raid button to try to level up another character to silver, and then within 2 minutes my energy is spent, and suddenly I can't do anything in the game anymore unless I play the game modes that require tokens, and sometimes that can get a little dry. So having another thing to play, another event to play, is always a good thing. And that's the nice thing about Tacticus, is there's always an event. There's always an event around the corner. At the time of recording this, the survival event is over, and the Nauseous Rotbone quest is going to start on the next day. So if you missed your chance for getting some shards for him, or you need to grind him up a little bit more after this event, then good news. There's another event coming up. It is focused on Nauseous Rotbone, so yes, another Death Guard event. But that's kind of the theme for this month. I mean, this month's Battle Pass is Pastilian, and I was able to unlock him. I just didn't grind him up for this event because I didn't feel like he would be all that effective with the lineup that I used. I went Rask, Malletus, and Grax for my Terminators. Of course, now Nauseous Rotbone, you have to deploy him, but he's your healer, so that's always a good pick. And then Archimedes for summoning, because Corrodius's Poxwalkers don't trigger additional summons on mechanical units. So for me, the lineup you see in the background is the lineup that I stuck with the entire time. I didn't have anybody else stronger to deploy, so this was kind of the best I could do with this run. And you can see Archimedes is almost dead there and whatnot. So yeah, this was about as far as I could get. It's about wave 10 in my final one, like I said. But overall, to round this out, I enjoyed the event for some of the time, and I enjoyed having another event to play. I enjoy logging into Tacticus, and every week there's something new. So I'm glad for these survival events. I hope there's obviously going to be more of these. I'm not sure what the next one is going to be. Maybe I'll be able to take out my best boys, my Space Marines, who knows. But for now, that's going to do it for this one. I appreciate you all being here. Take care, and I'll see you in the next one.